make it be the right thing.
So, Toni, we mentioned before we started this recording about Norma Rose, and I know everybody loves Norma Rose as they love you. So, give us an update how she's doing.
I emailed her to see how she was doing. We always are going to get to lunch, and we never do. We, are 2 or 3 miles apart, but she's really busy. She's doing well. They're spending this week in the mountains. She said they're actually house sitting for a friend who has a house up there in Blowing Rock. And if you've ever been to Blowing Rock, it's a beautiful, quaint little mountain town. It's just really nice. About 2.5 hours from here. So she's doing that. She said, she's like the rest of us who are old. Jeannie called it maintenance. She said, before COVID, she was like, anytime she was home, she said, all I'm doing is going to doctor's appointments or, dentist appointments or checking you. That's what you do. That's what you do when you get a little older.
I mean, my mother, she said getting older is one, and she had a little word in there.
Yeah.
Doctor's appointment after another. And then, the first thing she looked in the morning, she'd grab the Charleston Post and Courier, and she'd look at the obituaries and see who she lost. And then going to funerals was like a social event.
That's all you. Yeah, those come up a lot. Yeah, they really do.
So Mama said that a lot. In fact, I remember one time I was in a receiving line, and I said, "I'm so sorry about your loss," and Mama was with me. And this woman said, "Do you have one of your books?" I said, "It's in the trunk." And my mother looked at me and she said, "This is wrong." And I said, "Mama, I've got a chance to sell a book." So I popped the trunk, and all these people bought books out of I didn't, I guess God was okay with it. I might have to answer for that. But you do. Fun. I mean, you take your business everywhere you go, and people, just with Jeannie, I tell you, everybody just still reminisces and talks and just the impact that Jeannie had, and just not only her brilliance and her comedy, but like you mentioned, how she worked it and how she knew what would work. That's what just blows my mind. She
great time. She
oh my gosh. Just like the shows, the back porch shows. Unreal.
The shows were really that was just weird what that turned into. We honestly, because she couldn't sit around and do nothing, and as you know, you weren't speaking. There were no speeches. There were no theater shows. There was nothing. Of course, we literally thought it would start at last maybe 6 weeks.
That's what I thought too.
And we did over, I don't have a count. I know how long it went on, but about at least 60 shows, hour-long shows. We tried to come up with a DVD that was best of kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time going over the shows, and because they're on YouTube. You can find most of the shows on YouTube now, and it just didn't work because it was Jeannie. It was spontaneous, but it was her that made it funny.
Oh yeah.
And pulling it together, it just what I couldn't do it. It's like, this is not something we can turn into something people would want, because you can't cut 60 plus hours down into an hour or 90 minutes.
So true. I tell you, one of my favorite episodes was that charcuterie board.
Yeah. And see, and that was a bunch of us. It was a great show. But even that, it would take a long time. And it was I don't know, it was hard to explain, but it was like, I can't make this work. I don't know how to do this.
Because the brilliance of it was knowing what Jeannie was going to spontaneously say next.
Yeah.
That was her gift. She had such quick wit, and yet it was just perfect. The timing. Yeah. So and then another thing, people can just go to YouTube, and a lot of people that reach out to me and they'll say, I can't get enough of the stories. And so they keep going back. And it's funny because I know Jeannie said this to me one time. She said, we might have told that story at the same event 3 years before. They want to hear it again. And they'll come up to me and I'll think, well, I'm not going to tell that one. I already told it. Why didn't you tell the one about going to the grocery store? And
yeah,
never said, man, that to me, that
yeah.
one and that spongy jumping one,
Yeah.
those two, I think, probably it made Jeannie even more incredibly popular than she, it was such a thing, you know.
And the thing is, there are over 75 clips on YouTube. That's what she had, that many up. And now Deja is her name, and she goes by Dee with the Nashville people, Al and Peg. But Dee is handling the Facebook page and the Twitter and the Instagram, and you know, all of it. TikTok, they even are doing TikTok now. She's the master, the guru at that, and she's really good.
Nice.
And she's done a great job. And they're finding some old clips that were never put up. So every once in a while, they find a new one, you know, something that's actually not been up. But for the most part, there's so many up, but they keep them going. And she puts up interesting posts about what's going on. And her Facebook, when Jeannie passed away, I think we were right around, and I could be wrong, but I think we were right around 120 million views.
Good heavens.
And we, as of this week, hit 138 million views.
Oh my gosh.
So that tells you that people still go and still look back at the YouTube clips and watch them. Because, I mean, I know that you can see them over and over and still laugh. Because 45 years of working for her, how many times do you think I've heard these stories?
Yeah.
And yet, if I played Don't Bungee Jump Naked right now, I would laugh at every line, even though I know what's coming. It doesn't matter. It's still funny, and it will still make you laugh.
You know, it was funny because when I saw Jeannie, the last time I saw her was her last speech at NSA and with national speakers in Vegas. And she asked me, she said, do you think people would still tune in if I kept these shows going? And I said, yes. Right. I think everybody, because you've got some people that, you know, can't get out for whatever reason. And they look somebody told me they ate lunch listening to Jeannie, one of the super fans of hers, and how much it meant to her. And her husband was so glad she was finally able to look at something that she enjoyed. And she was thankful for this, which made me feel great. And love just to have a touch of Jeannie remembered and celebrated. And finally, I think that's incredible.
Yeah. And it's true that she couldn't keep it going every week because shows were picking back up. You know, when she passed away in August, on the books between then and the next spring, she had 53 shows booked.
Oh my
theater shows. So and a lot of theater shows are on weekends, as you know. So she wasn't going to be able to do it every Saturday. That wasn't going to work. But she was working on plans of how can I do this? How can I, you know, keep it going, but yet not, and not do it. It can't be every Saturday. But the thing that made it easy for people to watch it whenever, because it went on to YouTube as well. So you didn't have to be sitting there Saturday at noon.
Right.
You know? So this Saturday when you're playing this.